It was mid-May 2010. Aiyana Jones, a 7-year-old girl, was asleep in an apartment building in Detroit, Michigan. The police conducted a SWAT team raid on Aiyana's apartment. The police burst in the door with a flash grenade, and of course all chaos occurred. The little girl was laying on the couch. Her father had just put her to sleep. It was 12:40 a.m. with her favorite blanket. This is a 7-year-old girl. One of the policeman's guns discharged, shooting her in the neck. Blood splattered everywhere. Her father, Charles, was accosted by the police, grabbed, thrown face down onto the carpet where the girl had been shot, getting blood all over his face, his daughter's blood. And he kept screaming, "What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing." The grandmother, of course, in the house was going kind of crazy because here are all these police around, the girl was dead, blood. Later, the police found the person they were looking for in another part of the building. Amazingly so, a reality TV show was filming the police as they were going in. So this is something the police were doing. They were being filmed for a cop reality show. This is a sad, tragic story, but it's not the only sad, tragic story that has been involved in SWAT team raids across the United States. Amazingly so, there are over 40,000 such raids conducted in American homes across the United States every year, sometimes with disastrous results like what happened to Aiyana Jones. Unfortunately, most Americans are oblivious to what's going on in the United States in terms of such raids and what the police are doing to our Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment is one of the most important provisions we have in the Constitution. It may be the most important. Unfortunately, it's on life support today. Unlike when the Constitution was written, the Founding Fathers were very distrustful of police actions. Today, when SWAT team raids are conducted, generally you'll hear someone scream, a policeman, "Search warrant," and then your door goes down, flash grenades, stun grenades, dogs are shot routinely in the house.
Columbia Police search warrant! Columbia Police search warrant! Take it up. Hey, get to the door! Go, get to the door! Police department, don't move! Police department, don't move! Police department, don't move!
When the Constitution was written, the Founding Fathers would have been abhorred at such things happening. The American citizen in the early days of the Republic, United States Republic, was considered equal to the police. When a policeman showed up at your front door, he had to have a warrant. And he had to show you that warrant. He had to make sure you were the person that was the subject of the warrant. You had to read the warrant. And it was not uncommon when policemen actually showed up without warrants for American citizens to throw them off their porches. Times, of course, have changed. We live in a police state now. We can't do that. Unfortunately, the Fourth Amendment has been completely eviscerated. Many modern searches are done, and the police do not read search warrants. They don't even know for sure the person they're searching in a SWAT team raid. When they burst into a home, sometimes the doors go down, the police are in your house before you know it. It's usually done at nighttime when you're either asleep, you're disoriented, you don't know what's going on, you wake up groggily. There have been cases where police have mistakenly been in the wrong home and ended up shooting an American citizen. That's why the Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable searches and seizures and the mandate to have a warrant are so important. Unfortunately, the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts have made so many exceptions, they become part of the system that has debilitated our Fourth Amendment rights. So many exceptions today that the police take a lot of liberties.
Did you shoot my dog? You shot my fucking dog! Oh my God! My dog is not so nice!
Come here.
What the fuck did you do that for?
Kathy, let's get her out to a car.
Yeah, they put her in the van or something.
What was that for?
Continue.
Why did you do that?
Have 3 responders. 10 rock. Somebody got a card? Let's get him Mirandized.
The Founding Fathers had basic freedom principles that protected us as citizens. One was that our homes were to be our castles. We had privacy there. They could not be invaded unless there was a very serious problem. A judge had to recognize if there was a serious problem in the home, a criminal problem. If you were a criminal, the judge would have to review the warrant, make sure you were the person, you had actually done something wrong. Unfortunately, warrants today are rubber stamped by many judges, and they're not paying attention to what's happening. That's why we're seeing these kind of cases with people like Aiyana Jones, young people, being injured or killed. All the things I've talked about here, all these egregious instances, Supposedly the Fourth Amendment was put into our Bill of Rights to protect us against these. In fact, it was put there to protect us as American citizens against unreasonable searches and seizures of our person and our homes. Unfortunately, most Americans and most of you who are watching this podcast have no idea what's in the Fourth Amendment. You need to learn your rights. You need to teach them to your children. Eternal vigilance. That's what Thomas Jefferson says. We need eternal vigilance if we're going to protect our rights. That means we need to know those rights. Anyone want to know your rights, I'll give you a free pamphlet on the Bill of Rights, which is easy to teach to children and it's easy to teach to adults. We need to do it in our homes. The schools are not doing a good job of it. And if we're going to keep our freedoms, we're going to have to learn about them. We're going to have to politically emancipate ourselves and think like real citizens and start protesting these kind of actions and somehow restricting these egregious SWAT team raids.